Back around the world, firefighting is considered one of the most dangerous jobs. Every call presents different hazards and challenges and puts our first responders' lives and health on the line. But amazingly, it's also at the top of the list for the job satisfaction and job happiness. This week on Perspectives, we hear from our heroes, the first responders, about the changes made for safety and better health. Our own Eric Reynolds is joining us to talk about Perspectives this Sunday. Good morning.
Good morning.
Glad that you're here. Now, we were just talking about this. This is something really serious, and we actually just lost our 200th firefighter, correct?
Right, due to the 9/11 tragedy. And you're talking 18 years later, and still the effects of working in that environment, all the toxins and things that they were breathing in, and it has a lasting effect on the health of our firefighters. And this is sort of a tribute to them because they are heroes. The environments that they work in, it's unbelievable. And we had some video that we were showing earlier this morning. Hopefully we'll have it. We can show some of these fires.
Yeah.
Looking at some recent fires here, and you see the type of environments they're working in. That's an amazing blaze there. And it burned most of that down completely. And so they are working those environments, and those things have a cumulative effect on their health.
Yeah.
And so it's all about them on this program, talking about the changes that have been made in the last 20 years due to learning more about the firefighting environment. In fact, Chelsea, they had a sort of a badge of honor. When they went to a fire, they wanted to come back looking like they had been fighting one, with the smut and the soot and the smoke, you know, and just looking like, hey, I've been working this thing.
Yeah.
And what they've learned in the last few years is that that's good for that moment, but as soon as you get out of that environment, clean up, get rid of those things that can be washed and cleaned and things that can be disposed of. Don't sit around the fire station or even in the fire truck with these things on still, because it has that cumulative effect. And at one time, many firefighters weren't living long enough to enjoy their retirement.
Yeah, and that's true. The things that you are breathing in, I can't imagine. And you know, especially 9/11, but we have seen here in recent years a lot of fires on the Gulf Coast. Just a couple months ago, that condo fire in the middle of the night. So our first responders here on the Gulf Coast working hard too.
Yeah, they run in while everyone else is trying to get out of the fire. They're in there to save and rescue and retrieve, as well as to put the fire out. And so in many cases, they used to work these fires where they wouldn't have their helmets on, they wouldn't have any breathing apparatus on, not fully covered, considering the things getting on their skin. And that was the way they wanted to fight it, you know. And so now they're learning that for their health and for their families' security, because they used to take that stuff home.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it was also a part of the family's environment that they were bringing in. And so we talk about the different changes. We have two fire chiefs on with us, Chief Sealy in Mobile and Chief White in Daphne. They talk about the changes they've seen. Chief White has been in the industry for over 40 years.
Wow.
Chief Sealy for almost 30 years now. And then a retired chief who talks about the things that he saw from his first job. They gave him a helmet and some boots. And then he now has a son and a grandson in the department. So it's a family tradition. And he's seeing the things that his grandson now is being able to work that environment to see the difference in what he had years ago.
And it's definitely going to bring a new perspective to us from saying, you know, from 40 years ago to now, how the technology, how the gear has changed. But we definitely want to thank our firefighters for what you do on the Gulf Coast, because your job is so dangerous and you do it for us. So we thank you for that. And we want to talk about when this next episode will air.
Sunday morning, 7:30, right here on Fox 10, of course, after Asha Staples and the Sunday Morning News, and right before Chris Wallace and Fox Sunday Morning. And so, of course, if you miss it Sunday morning, the website as well as Fox 10's YouTube channel, you can check it out. But they are real heroes.
That's so right. So Eric, thank you for coming on this morning. Excited about Sunday morning at 7:30. Remember to tune in. Excited about it. It's going to be really good. Well, coming up, we have live music for you on this Friday morning. Local artist Shelby Brown is next on the Pepsi Soundstage. You don't want to miss it.